"This car doesn't belong to you, does it?" the traffic officer said suspiciously to the black driver. The young man smiled and replied, "Actually, it was a graduation gift from my father, Police Chief Johnson. Maybe you know him."
Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and a comment before we start to learn more about what happened.
The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the tree-lined streets of Riverside Heights, one of the city's most affluent neighborhoods, where luxury vehicles were common sights in driveways and along perfectly maintained boulevards. The area was known for its multi-million-dollar homes, exclusive country clubs, and residents who included business executives, entertainment industry figures, and high-ranking government officials. Marcus Johnson navigated his red Ferrari 488 GTB through the neighborhood's winding streets, returning home from a celebration lunch with his law school classmates. At 25, Marcus had just graduated summa cum laude from Harvard Law School, earning his Juris Doctor after 3 years of intensive study that had prepared him for a career in civil rights law. The Ferrari, a graduation gift from his proud father, represented both a reward for academic achievement and a symbol of the opportunities that lay ahead. Marcus's father, Police Chief Robert Johnson, had served the department for 28 years, rising through the ranks from patrol officer to detective to his current position as the city's top law enforcement official. Chief Johnson had worked tirelessly to build bridges between the police department and the community, implementing reforms focused on accountability, transparency, and bias training that had earned national recognition. Officer Luis Martinez was conducting his regular patrol through Riverside Heights, an assignment he had held for 6 months after transferring from a downtown precinct. At 32, Martinez prided himself on his attention to detail and his ability to identify suspicious activity that might indicate criminal behavior or security threats in the upscale neighborhood. When Martinez observed the Ferrari moving through the residential streets, his instincts immediately flagged the situation as potentially problematic. The vehicle's high-end status and the driver's apparent youth created what Martinez perceived as an inconsistency that warranted investigation. Martinez activated his patrol car's emergency lights and initiated a traffic stop, pulling behind the Ferrari as it came to a stop along the tree-lined curb. Through his windshield, Martinez could see a young black male in the driver's seat, wearing casual clothing that seemed inconsistent with the expensive vehicle he was operating. Marcus checked his rearview mirror and pulled over safely, placing his hands visibly on the steering wheel as his father had taught him during countless conversations about police encounters. Despite his legal education and family background, Marcus understood that traffic stops could escalate quickly, and proper protocol was essential for everyone's safety. Officer Martinez approached the Ferrari with heightened caution, his hand positioned near his service weapon as he assessed the situation. The vehicle's registration was visible through the rear window, but Martinez was more focused on the driver's appearance and demeanor than on official documentation. "Good afternoon," Marcus said respectfully as Martinez reached the driver's side window. "Is there a problem, officer?" Martinez studied Marcus's appearance carefully, noting his casual attire and youthful features. "License and registration, please. Also, I need you to step out of the vehicle." Marcus was surprised by the request to exit the car, as he hadn't been speeding or violating any traffic laws. "May I ask why you stopped me, officer?" Martinez's suspicion intensified. "I'm conducting a routine traffic investigation. Please step out of the vehicle and keep your hands visible." Marcus complied with the instruction, understanding that resistance would only escalate the situation. As he stood beside the Ferrari, Martinez began a more detailed inspection of both the vehicle and its driver. "This is an expensive car," Martinez observed, walking around the Ferrari. "What kind of work do you do?" Marcus recognized the implication behind the question. "I'm a recent law school graduate. I just finished at Harvard." Martinez remained skeptical. Harvard Law School? That's quite a story. Can you prove that? Marcus was beginning to understand that this wasn't a routine traffic stop. Officer, I have my law degree and bar exam documentation in the car if you'd like to see them. Martinez continued his interrogation. Let me ask you directly. Is this your car? The question revealed the discriminatory nature of Martinez's assumptions. He was essentially accusing Marcus of vehicle theft based on racial profiling rather than any evidence of criminal activity. Yes, this is my car, Marcus replied calmly. Martinez pressed further. This car doesn't belong to you, does it? A young guy like you doesn't just own a Ferrari. Marcus felt his patience being tested, but he maintained his professional demeanor. Officer, this vehicle belongs to me. It was a graduation gift from my father. Martinez scoffed at the explanation. A graduation gift? This car costs more than most people make in 2 years. What does your father do, rob banks? The comment was both inappropriate and insulting, revealing Martinez's assumptions about Marcus's family background and economic status. Marcus decided to address the situation more directly. Officer Martinez, he said, reading the name tag, I think there's been a misunderstanding. This is my vehicle, I haven't violated any traffic laws, and I'm being cooperative with your investigation. Martinez felt challenged by Marcus's articulate response. I decide when there's been a misunderstanding. Right now, I'm investigating a suspicious situation involving an expensive vehicle and someone who doesn't look like they should be driving it. The statement was explicitly discriminatory, revealing that Martinez's suspicions were based entirely on racial profiling rather than legitimate law enforcement concerns. Marcus realized he needed to clarify his identity. Officer Martinez, I think you should know who you're dealing with. My father is Police Chief Robert Johnson. Martinez paused, staring at Marcus with confusion and disbelief. Police Chief Johnson? Yes, Marcus confirmed. Chief Robert Johnson is my father. This Ferrari was his graduation gift to me when I finished Harvard Law School last month. Martinez felt his confidence beginning to waver. You're saying you're the police chief's son? Marcus nodded. I am, and right now you're racially profiling me based on assumptions about who can afford to drive expensive cars. Martinez was beginning to realize the magnitude of his mistake. He had not only engaged in discriminatory policing practices, but he had done so against the family of his own department's commanding officer. Sir, I was just conducting a routine investigation, Martinez stammered. Marcus maintained his calm demeanor. Officer Martinez, there was nothing routine about this stop. You pulled me over without probable cause, demanded I exit my vehicle, questioned my ownership of the car, and made discriminatory comments about my appearance and family background. Martinez tried to backtrack. I was just being thorough in my patrol duties. You were racially profiling me, Marcus corrected, and now you need to decide how you want to handle this situation. Martinez was now in full panic mode, realizing that his discriminatory behavior had been directed at the police chief's son, who also happened to be a Harvard-trained lawyer with expertise in civil rights law. Mr. Johnson, I apologize if there was any misunderstanding, Martinez said desperately. Marcus looked at his watch. Officer Martinez, there was no misunderstanding. You made deliberate choices based on racial bias, and those choices violated both department policy and my civil rights. Martinez realized he was facing potential disciplinary action, public embarrassment, and possible legal consequences for his discriminatory conduct. What can I do to resolve this situation? Martinez asked. Marcus considered the question carefully. First, you can acknowledge that racial profiling occurred. Second, you can explain to me why you thought it was appropriate to question my ownership of my own vehicle. Third, You can tell me what steps you'll take to ensure this doesn't happen to other people. Martinez struggled to provide satisfactory answers to any of Marcus's questions. At that moment, Marcus's phone rang. The caller ID showed Dad. "Hi, Dad," Marcus answered the call. "Marcus, where are you? You were supposed to be home 20 minutes ago for dinner with your mother." Marcus looked directly at Officer Martinez. "I'm currently being detained by one of your officers for the crime of driving while black in Riverside Heights." Chief Johnson's tone immediately shifted. "What? Who is the officer?" Marcus read from the name tag. "Officer Luis Martinez, badge number 847. "Put him on the phone," Chief Johnson commanded. Marcus handed the phone to Martinez, who reluctantly accepted it. "This is Chief Johnson," the voice on the phone said with unmistakable authority. "Officer Martinez, can you explain to me why you've detained my son?" Martinez's face went pale as he realized he was speaking directly to the police chief. "Sir, I was conducting a routine traffic investigation." "Officer Martinez, my son tells me you've accused him of stealing his own car and made discriminatory comments about his family. Is that accurate?" Martinez couldn't deny the accusations. "Sir, there may have been some confusion about the situation." Chief Johnson's voice was stern. "Officer Martinez, report to my office first thing tomorrow morning. We're going to have a very serious conversation about racial profiling and department policy." Martinez handed the phone back to Marcus, his career flashing before his eyes. Marcus finished the call with his father and turned back to Martinez. "Officer, I want you to understand something. What you did to me today, you've probably done to other young black men who don't have the protection of being the police chief's son." Martinez nodded shamefully. Marcus continued. "Those people deserve the same respect and fair treatment that you should have given me from the beginning." Martinez was forced to confront the discriminatory nature of his policing practices. The next morning, Officer Martinez reported to Chief Johnson's office, where he faced a formal disciplinary review. Chief Johnson used the incident as an opportunity to reinforce department policies on racial profiling and bias-free policing. Martinez was required to complete comprehensive bias training and community service in neighborhoods where his discriminatory practices had likely affected other residents. Marcus decided not to pursue legal action, instead working with his father to use the incident as a teaching moment for the entire police department. The story became part of the department's training curriculum, demonstrating how racial bias can affect policing decisions and damage community relationships. Chief Johnson implemented additional reforms focused on accountability and transparency, ensuring that all officers understood the consequences of discriminatory behavior. Marcus began his legal career with a deeper understanding of how racial profiling affects individuals and communities, knowledge that would inform his work as a civil rights attorney. The incident strengthened the relationship between Marcus and his father as they worked together to address systemic bias within law enforcement. And Officer Martinez became an advocate for bias-free policing, using his own mistakes as examples of how assumptions about race and economic status can lead to inappropriate law enforcement actions. Because sometimes the most important lessons about justice come not from law school textbooks, but from the moments when we're forced to confront our own biases and choose to do better.